Hi, welcome to Penny's Crafts Creations. Thanks for joining me and crafting with me today. Today is the last Gnome-tastic tassel for Tassel Tuesday, hosted by Creating with Jovi and Norma Lisa, the Misfit Florida Crafter. So I'm doing this similar to the way I've done the last two, the Thanksgiving and the Shabby Chic. The only difference is I cut a hole in my triangle this time because I want to have this resemble a Santa hat. So while my glue gun is heating up here, I'm going to show you what I put in it, the tassel part. I did it the way I always do with the last three. I put everything together and then tied it with that jute twine. So I have some tulle, couldn't remember the name of that stuff. Then I have some red ribbon, some gold. I have this plaid, some white, some gold. I have that fancy ribbon that does the ruffling effect. Some red ribbon with gold snowflakes. Then I have some red ribbon that has the candy cane and sweet peppermints on there. Have some with red with the words believe on there as well. And some plain white. I have some buffalo check with white snowflakes. So as you can tell, the theme of this last one is a Christmas gnome tassel. And it is quite full, as you can see. So I want to do it the same way. I want to create that cone in here, but before I do gluing down, I want to take and thread these through here. I'm going to try not to glue on those. So I switched up my angle a little bit because I am right-handed. I'm going to see if this works this time, and if it does, I'll try to remember to do right-handed all the time and have you on the left. We'll see if this works. So, like I did last time, I'm going to start my cone by placing glue along here, and I want to have that point at the top because I'm going to have the pom-pom on the top there. So I'm going to put a strip of glue here, and I'm going to fold this over, but I want to tuck in this end here because I don't want to glue the rope. So I'm going to fold that over really tight. I'm hoping this works. Our rope is still coming out of that end there. I'm going to roll this again. And again, I'm going to place glue along here. And I'm going to just attach that down. And I'm using fleece for this one. And I'm okay if I'm covering that hole a little bit, because it's going to be in the back of the tassel. Just slide that down, and I want to make sure I've got all of this glued down, so I'm just going to apply glue there just so it holds it down. And this part's going to be folded over, so let's see if this works. Get that cord out of the way. So I'm hoping it will tuck right inside to there in our cone, and I think I'm gonna fold this up a little bit because we don't want it to be too big or too long. So I'm gonna fold that up a little, and then I'm gonna give that a good pull, and it's right inside there, so that is perfect. Give it a good shake. And I want to decide which part I want to be the front of my tassel before I put glue in there, because I can twist the hat. I think I like this side because it shows all the different ribbons. So I'm going to go with this side. This is going to be my back. So I'm going to apply glue on the back, and I'm going to tuck that as far up in there as I can get. so this is our back here. So I'm going to have my hat come down with the point here, so it covers that fold. It's going to be tucked in, and I'll have that little pom-pom down here. That will be really cute. But before we do that, we need to attach the brim of the hat, and I'm using a white fleece for that as well. And it's quite large, and the reason I'm doing it quite large is I want to have that thickness to the hat brim. So I'm going to turn it down, about halfway down, and just give that a good press. And then I'm going to apply glue here as well, and fold that over. Okay, so that gives us our brim, and again, it's not going to be, we're not going to need all of it. Probably. Let's see how much we're going to need of it. Yeah, we're not going to need it all, so I'm going to trim it up before we get there. And I'm going to try and have my sides match on this side here, on that fold. So I'm going to attach glue right onto the hat, and I'm starting at that fold line. And I'm going to match my fold with it, and I'm just going to push down and then go to the other side there and do the same thing. Apply the glue to that edge right there, and then fold that in. Now we're coming up on that piece there, so I want to have that match. So I'm going to go right along this edge here and then add it to this edge. Try not to burn my fingers as I do it. And just give that a good squeeze on there. Again, trying not to burn the fingers. And I'm going to grab the pom-pom. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the pom-pom, and I gave that a bit to dry. And before I do the hat part, I want to add the braids. Put the nose in, I mean. I want to add the braids, and I have a piece of that left over. So I'm going to cut that in half. I want to do the same thing as I did on the shabby chic one. I want to get the bottom of the braids to have that little bit of coverage like last time. And I'm just going to stretch this out and then get it back to its shape. I'm going to add a little bit of glue onto the braid. I grabbed the wrong one. And making sure I have the furry side of that facing up, because we want that furry side upwards. And then I'm just going to roll it around just to where I get it where I think it's going to look good. And then I'm going to trim that piece off there. So once that piece is trimmed, we'll set that aside. And we're going to add a little bit of glue onto the back of this. And give that a good squeeze. Careful you don't burn your fingers when you're doing this part. Okay, so we have one side, and I might be able to use just this one if I can get that edge there. Nope. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did with the last one. I'm going to trim off this edge here, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue back onto that braid again, and take that end and apply it there, and then wrap it a couple times like I did the last one. I think I did 2. And I'm going to trim that up again. And then put the glue on it. This time I'm not going to do so much like I did last time. I didn't realize I put a lot on it until my fingers were on top of it. Okay, so we have the braids ready to go in, and they look really adorable with that little added touch of the little felt there. So I'm going to tuck those in, and I'm going to use my Tunison hook again. And I want to tuck those in before I put the nose in. So I'm going to put some glue in here, find my center of my braid, and just tuck that in. So it's going to sit like that. And then I'm going to grab my gnome nose. I'm going to apply glue here on the bottom again. And then I'm going to tuck that in underneath. And I don't want to have it go too far because I want that gnome nose to be peeking out. So I'm just going to apply some glue here and onto that part there so it will catch that gnome nose. I'm just giving it a good squeeze just to grab the gnome nose and the other part there. So the braids are tucked out. Now I'm going to do the hat part, but before I do that I need to separate my threads here and have them come over the top. So I'm going to give it a little knot there to hold that in place. And I'm going to do it a square knot. And then decide how far up I want it on there. How far the hanger should be. So I'm going to trim that little excess off on the top of that. Now I wanted to match up those folds to give it that nice little hat. I'm going to take my pom-pom, turn these folds inward so that they all match up. Placing the glue inside there. So I'm going to take that and put the glue right on that fold and tuck that in. Right along that fold line. And then I have that little fuzzy pom-pom. I'm going to attach it right there. Put a good amount of glue there. And then I'm going to hold that down. Really close. It's going to take a moment for it to dry. And I've got some buttons I'm going to go grab because I want to attach those. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to use this little tree and one of those wooden snowflakes from the Dollar Tree. I just think they're really adorable. And I cut the back off the button part. It was one of those like little loop buttons. So I'm just going to apply the glue right onto there. Try not to burn my fingers. I'm just going to place it off to the left side of the little gnome girl. And it's really a sparkly button. I don't know if you can see the shine. And then I was thinking of adding the snowflake up here. But I'm not sure. I kind of like it like that. With just the tree. I really wanted to add the snowflake. But I think I really like it with just the tree. So I'm going to go with just the tree. So there we have it. Our little snowman, or in this case, snow gnome Christmas tassel. Thanks for watching.